Welcome back, Karptastic ladies and gentlemen, to another episode in this PTCGO series. This is going to be an extra episode, probably because I'm going to upload it outside of my regular upload schedule on Sunday. That's what I have in my head right now. So let's call it a silly Sunday episode, since this is going to be a 2.0 version of a silly deck that I built in last week's Wizards Wednesday episode. Flaybson Diniz requested in the comment section for me to build another variant of the Dugtrio deck that I built back then, this time with a Greninja approach. So let's have a look at the deck itself. If you want to skip to certain parts of the video, click the annotations on the left hand side of the screen or click the timestamps in the description. The Dugtrio is a stage 1 Pokemon with 2 attacks, Earthquake and Rock Tumble, but Earthquake is going to be our main focus today. Hits for 60 for fighting energy and then does 10 damage to each of your benched Pokemon. He's only got 90 hit points, so we are going to try to have our Dugtrio stay alive a little bit longer, but I'll talk about that more later on. 3 copies of Dugtrio and then 4 copies of Diglett with a Mine attack. For a fighting energy, you get to look at the top card of your opponent's deck, and then you may shuffle his or her deck depending on what you see there. So for example, if our opponent is top decking, we know he doesn't have any draw support in hand, we could go for a Mine, look at his top deck, and if that is a Sycamore or any other draw supporter, we will reshuffle his deck, hopefully, leave him with his bad hand. Then also the Mud Slap, pretty common attack for a basic. Unfortunately, Diglett has only got 50 hit points, so also very easy to knock out. 4 copies of Diglett because we want to start off with Dugtrio in each and every game, hit for that Earthquake. So having that Diglett is going to allow us to start off with, or to evolve into a Dugtrio into the active spot. Then the partner for today for Dugtrio is Shedinja, and I believe I might have said Greninja earlier on. If so, I'll have to add it in a fail there somewhere, because it's Shedinja, not Greninja. Shedinja with the Hopeless Screen attack hits for 50 damage times the number of damage counters on this Pokemon. He's only got 30 hit points, so at most we will be able to stack 2 damage counters on there. So at most he will be able to hit for 100 damage plus a muscle band, that's 120. It does take a colorless energy, so we are running fighting energies, 8 fighting energies. That means we can use the Hopeless Scream very easily. Just attach that fighting energy, a hit for 120 if we have 2 damage counters on that. If we have 2 damage counters on Shedinja, that would mean that our Dugtrio has hit for an Earthquake twice, and that is actually quite realistically. In most cases, we will be hitting for a Earthquake twice, since I run Focus Sash in this deck. 2 copies of Focus Sash, so we can attach a Focus Sash to Dugtrio, hit for an Earthquake, then our opponent could one-hit KO us, but thanks to the Focus Sash we stay alive, and then we can Earthquake again, and in total, that would have put 2 damage counters on Shedinja. So we have hit for 120 with the Earthquake, and then we can hit for 120 again with the Hopeless Screen. That is enough to knock out most Mega Pokemon. So we can actually trade fairly with EXs, with EX decks, and we can also trade fairly with non-EX decks in some scenarios. And that is what you need in order to be able to pull off the win. You need to have an option to be trading prizes fairly, and if you want to win more easily, and you actually want to have an option to trade prizes unfairly for your opponent, so that you are getting more prizes than your opponent. That's a little bit tough with this deck, but you can definitely still pull it off. And then one line of Trubbish and Garbodor. Now originally I didn't have Garbodor in this list because Flaybson Diniz actually requested to have a deck with Floette with the Flower Veil ability. Each of your grass Pokemon in play gets 20 hit points, gets 20 more hit points. So if you have 3 Floettes in play, your grass Pokemon have 60 more hit points, meaning that our Shedinja would have 90 hit points total, and so potentially could have 8 damage counters on it, and hit for 8 times 50, that's 400 damage total, which is pretty ridiculous for just a single energy. Now, the problem I was having in testing this deck is that, one, you need to get out another stage 1 fairly early on in the game in order to be able to make use of the Floette. So that's a little bit tricky. and you would want to have at least a 2-2 line of Floettes in order to be able to get it out consistently. So that makes the deck a little bit more clunky as well, a 2-2 line. And I found myself most games actually not using the Floette, since my Greninja, my Shedinja would get Lysandered out or knocked out before before I could actually make use of Floette's ability. So I would only have like 2 damage counters on there, and it would get Lysandered out, or it would get destroyed by a Trevenant, Silent Fear from a Trevenant. Trevenant is an auto loss for this deck. I think that's pretty obvious, because with the Silent Fear, Trevenant just knocks out our Shedinjas in 1 hit, and our Dugtrios get knocked out in 3 hits. So yeah, Trevenant is definitely an auto loss, but Greninja break as well, since he can, the Greninja opponent can just put Water Shurikens on our Pokemon left and right and knock them out very easily, since we have such low HP. And that's where Garbodor can come in handy, because Garbotoxin shuts off abilities, so we can shut off Greninja's ability. We can also shut off Trevenant's item lock, giving us a little bit more of a chance to deal with Trevenant, even though it will still be a very bad matchup. But I think Garbodor is more useful than Floette itself, just because it's a little bit, it's got more use cases, and the Shedinja doesn't stay alive that much longer anyways, even though the Flower Veil gives it more hit points. So that's why I went with Garbodor. I've also got 2 Shaymins for draw support. Let's have a look at the trainers then. Let's go to this overview for the trainers. I'm running a Korrina engine for this deck. Korrina to get out our Dugtrios very easily, and to get out our Focus Sash as well very easily, or the Floatstone for the Garbodor. I've also got 4 level balls. These level balls are one of the key aspects of this deck to get out our Pokemon and evolve them continuously, or to get out basics on the bench like the Trubbish. We can also get out these level balls with Korrina. I do run 2 muscle bands for the Shedinja, so to increase its damage output to 120, or potentially for the Dugtrio itself, but most of the time you will want to attach a Focus Sash to Dugtrio. And then there's quite a few one-offs, 1 Battle Compressor, 1 Professor's Letter, 1 Sacred Ash, 1 Super Rod, and 1 Switch. Sacred Ash and Super Rod combined here, because since we have so many low HP Pokemon, they are going to get knocked out quite a lot actually, so getting them back with the Super Rod, with the Focus Sash, is what we are going to try to do. And the Super Rod is mainly going to be used to get back energies in our deck. Since I do only run 8, we only need a single attachment, but with the Sycamore, our energies could get discarded, as well as with the Scorched Earth Stadium. Let's go to the other overview, have a zoom in at the Scorched Earth. Scorched Earth allows us to discard fighting energies from our hand, and then we can draw into 2 cards. So we'll want to get back those fighting energies with our Super Rod, just so we can have some attachments for our Pokemon. 1 Professor's Letter, this works very well with the Scorched Earth, as well as just to get the energies in our hand. And then the Battle Compressor is there for synergy with VS Seekers, so we can Battle Compress. If we start off with a VS Seeker and a Battle Compressor, we can Battle Compress a Korrina and compress some other supporters as well, so we can get them back with our VS Seeker. And I think that's mainly it for the deck analysis. I believe the rest of the cards speak for themselves. The Ace Trainer is maybe not an obvious choice, but since our Pokemon will get knocked out, most likely before we take a knockout on our opponent, Ace Trainer can come in clutch to disrupt our opponent's hand size while we draw into 6 cards. And that is it. AZ is there to pick up a Shedinja if our Shedinja has 2 damage counters on it and we want to go for another Earthquake, we will have to pick up our Shedinja, because otherwise it will get knocked out by our Earthquake. And also to pick up Dugtrio, since if we have a Dugtrio in the active spot and 1 on the bench, and we hit for an Earthquake, the 1 on the bench will have 10 damage, 1 damage counter on it, so we cannot attach a Focus Sash to it anymore. If we want to attach a Focus Sash to that Dugtrio, we will have to pick it up with AZ and put it down again. And that is it for the deck analysis. Leave a like if you enjoy the Daft Dugtrio 2.0 deck, and subscribe to my channel for more competitive, silly and fun deck ideas, and I'll see you in the battles. G-Brawl has taken on the challenge of facing us with his water deck. This is probably going to be a Greninja break deck. Oh boy. Indeed, frustration here. Because Greninja break is a tough matchup for us. And during testing I kept running in Trevenant and Greninja as well. So we'll see if we can get out our Garbodor and hopefully deal with this Greninja that way. We can get to start off first. That is a good sign. Starting off first is important for us. It's actually really important. Going second can potentially lose you the game straight away, because then you have to wait one more turn to go for an Earthquake. That can be really detrimental. Yeah, look at that, it is Greninja. So we will need to see if our Trubbish and our Garbodor are in deck. Hopefully they are. My opponent is going to mulligan a couple of times. We don't mind. We applaud our opponent for that. Oh, he stopped. Never mind. Would have loved to see some more mulligans so we can draw into some more cards. What I would like to get from this Trainers Mail is maybe a Battle Compressor. Thin out my deck with the Battle Compressor. Or an Ultra Ball, or a Korrina, or a Level Ball. We'll draw into 2 more cards. And there is a Focus Sash. Focus Sash. Might as well attach the Focus Sash. Puts in energy on the Diglett. Take a look at the Trainers Mail. AZ or Scorched Earth. Let's get the Scorched Earth out. I'm going to actually attach this Floatstone to the Diglett on the bench, because we will hit it with our Earthquake. And I'm going to Sycamore. We need to try to find some cards to use. Okay, we do get a Level Ball. Nincada is good. Let's Level Ball for the Trubbish if we can. Trubbish is right there. That is good, that is good. Trubbish, Garbodor is there as well. Alright. And we do have some more tools in deck, which we can attach to Garbodor. So we are going to get our Trubbish. And then we shall... do I want to discard that energy? I will discard that energy, draw into 2 more cards. Dugtrio and Hex Maniac, excellent stuff right there. So we are basically set to go here. We can go for Shaymin in the next turn. And I think that's what I will do. Do I bench another Diglett? I'm gonna keep that Diglett in hand for now and pass my turn and see what we top deck in the next turn. There's no point benching the Diglett really at this point, so because we've got 1 Dugtrio in the discard pile, so we can at most evolve 2 Digletts. And we already have a Dugtrio in hand. Does my opponent get a Wally to go for a Water Duplicate in his turn? If he cannot find a Wally, then he needs to find another basic, because we will donk this Froakie here with our Diglett, that is for sure. And a good thing for us is that, oh, heads on the bubble, so we get paralyzed, but that doesn't matter. We will evolve, and we are going to donk this. We are going to donk this Froakie. We had a pretty good setup, but that's going to be it for the game here. Earthquake for a knockout. Wow. All right, a donk on Greninja. Well, look at that. The Daft Dugtrio 2.0 version can win against Greninja. That is something important to note. Let's see if we can find another opponent. Meister00 is going to be our opponent with... Are you kidding me? This is not another Greninja break deck, is it now? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is another Greninja break deck. That is what this is. That is what we are looking at. I believe I am right. I believe I am. Oh boy, it is a Kyogre coin, so maybe it's just a Kyogre deck, and that could be it as well. But Kyogre has so many hit points, it makes it tough for us to deal with that. And I think my opponent will choose to go first, so we are going second on top of facing most likely Greninja break, which is a very big issue for us. Can we get out a Garbodor? We'll bench 1 Nincada, keep 1 in hand for now. So we can use our Ultra Ball potentially, and it is a Greninja break deck. What a surprise. Surprise, surprise right there. So I'm tempted to use the Ultra Ball, discard Dugtrio and whatever we top deck to look for a Shaymin, bench this other Nincada, because my opponent is grass weak. Let's see, I'm gonna bench it, I'm gonna do it. You never know, my opponent might play a Judge. Can we come back from going second? We won't get a donk, that's for sure. We won't get a donk. My opponent will be able to go for the water duplicates before we can get a knockout. And he already benches another Froakie. And that's it. That's the pass of the turn. Battle Compressor, huh? Let's have a look at with this level ball at our deck. Trubbish is there. Do we have Garbodor? Please tell me. Yes, we do have Garbodor. So we will get out Trubbish. And we are also going to discard Hex Maniac. Hex Maniac is going to be very useful for us. We're going to get out a Shaymin, discard this Korrina and a Dugtrio. We only have two Shedinja, so we need to be careful of not discarding the Shedinja. Get out the Shaymin, Battle Compressor, see what we can compress. We have one VS Seeker, 2 VS Seeker, 3 VS Seeker, 3 VS Seeker. That's pretty good. I'm going to discard the Hex Maniac as well as AZ, as well as the Lysandre. Very useful cards. They will very likely come in handy. Leave the Ace Trainer in deck for now. It's not yet very clear who will take the first knockout here. Maybe my opponent, maybe not. Sycamore and Korrina. The muscle band is going to go onto our Nincada, that's for sure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use Korrina, get out. We have one more spot. I'm going to get out another Diglett. Or maybe the Dugtrio for the next turn. Let's get out the Dugtrio actually, so we can guarantee that. And then I might go for the Sycamore in the next turn. Yeah, because we need to dig up the Garbodor. So let's go for a Dugtrio for the next turn, and maybe an Ultra Ball as well, so we can dig up the Garbodor straight away. That seems like a good choice. We will leave it at that. End our turn, see what our opponent can do. We will most likely see a water duplicates. Oh, and a red card. So all of that for nothing. Who plays red card? Who even plays red card? Greninja Break does not normally play red cards, and I don't know why he evolved that Froakie. That is a mistake from my opponents, because now he can go for one less water duplicates. That is definitely a mistake right there. My opponent should not have done that. I don't know what was up with that. Oh boy. I'm probably going to have to discard a Dugtrio and that energy and go for an Ultra Ball that way. We know we have the Ultra Ball in deck. So let's get out a Diglett. As well as the Ultra Ball. And go for a Shaymin. We should have one more Shaymin. There is the last Shaymin. Our opponent messed with our strategy there big time. Let's evolve into the Shedinja. If we can find a muscle band, I'm going to go for a knockout on a Frogadier with our Dugtrio. We'll evolve the Diglett, attach an energy, and then we will Shaymin for 6 cards. Discard both the Diglett and the Dugtrio right there. Shaymin for 6 cards. We cannot find another Ultra Ball, so we have to find our Garbodor by sheer luck right now. There is the muscle band. Stadium, which I will use to discard this energy, draw into some more cards, and yet no Garbodor. Floatstone, which is very useful. Let's get out the Floatstone. Let's also Ultra Ball for a Shedinja, and then we will go for an Earthquake and get that knockout. Yeah, too bad. We really needed that Garbodor. We really needed that. At least we have a Sycamore to look for it in the next turn. Do we want to use the Sacred Ash? Maybe in the next turn. For now we will just hit for the Earthquake. Keep the Flaybson in hand as well. Get the knockouts, starts putting some damage counters on our Shedinjas. We get a Focus Sash. That is not very useful. We went with the Muscle Band approach. Put some pressure on my opponent. Hopefully we do not see a Greninja break just yet. My opponent is left with 3 cards in hand, so I would be very surprised if he could get out a Greninja break with those 3 cards. Sycamore, so that means we won't see a Wally. At least there's that. We might see a knockout on our Dugtrio. If we can find another Muscle Band, we could one-hit KO that Greninja that my opponent is going to promote. Is going to use. He's going to miss Moonlight Slash for the knockout most likely if he finds a Muscle Band. Or Shadow Stitching, that could be a possibility. If not, we will stay alive and we will gladly take that. Gladly take that. Can he evolve the other Frogadier? He cannot, so Moonlight Slash just for 80. We stay alive with 10 hit points. That is pretty lucky. Oh, and we even gets another energy. Do I want to discard an energy? I'm going to attach it to the Shedinja. I'm also going to... Let's see here. I'm going to use this. It's now or never, because we are going to discard it with the Sycamore. I don't really feel like filling up my deck, but otherwise we will never get them back. And we shall attach this to a Shaymin, just for lulz. And see if we can get our Garbodor. Yes, we can. Just in time right there. And we could even get back some energies with our Super Rod. So, unfortunately no Muscle Band, so we cannot KO the Greninja just yet. I could actually discard this energy and try to look for the Muscle Band that way. And no Muscle Bands. We do have the VS Seeker for a Korrina. We also have a Korrina in hand to look for a Muscle Band. But for now we'll just have to go with the Earthquake. Let's evolve into the Garbodor. We will keep the Super Rod in hand for now. There's no reason to use it right now. And we will hit for the Earthquake for 80. And just like that, we are looking pretty darn good. My opponent needs to find a Lysandre to Lysandre out the Garbodor and get rid of our lock, of our ability lock, if he wants to stand a chance. We have 3 attackers ready here, so if he goes for the Garbodor, we can just promote one of our attackers and knock out his Greninja that way. Is he going to look for the break, or is he going to get another stage 2 Greninja? That's what I'm wondering now. Or maybe a Froakie. If I were my opponent, I would bench a Froakie, try to get another basic ready, because his attacker is going to get knocked out. And he went for the stage 2, he's going to power up, try to work with the benched one. Maybe he's going to retreat. That wouldn't matter all that much, and there is a Froakie, so he did have Level Ball to look for a Froakie. That explains that as well. And an Ace Trainer, oh boy, that is pretty big. But we should get a... no, I'm not sure. Oh, we get a VS Seeker, so we can look for a Muscle Band and one-hit KO the Greninja if my opponent retreats into the Greninja on the bench. We really need to get that one-hit KO. He did get that max potion. I think I saw that correctly. He did get that max potion, so it's certainly not over yet. My opponent has a lot of resources available to him. And I think we are at a slight disadvantage actually right now, seeing as though my opponent had that hand. He does retreat. Is he going to use the max potion? He's not going to use the max potion just yet. It uses Shadow Stitching, which is okay. We are going to promote the Shedinja and try to get that KO. Let's see, 3 energy in a discard pile. I need to draw into some more cards here. There is the Muscle Band. We drew into the Muscle Bands. Amazing. Another Focus Sash. Might as well bench a Diglett. Use the Focus Sash, put it onto the Diglett, and get back a Dugtrio and 2 energies, because I believe we are running low on Dugtrios. And then I am going to leave the VS Seeker in my hands. I don't think there is anything else we need to do at this point. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else we need to do. We could go for a Lysandre, but what is the point in that when you can knock out this Greninja here? Or a Hex Maniac, or a Sycamore. We could Sycamore. How many VS Seekers have we used? I want to leave my opponent guessing that we have a bad hand, and so he doesn't use an Ace Trainer anymore. But I'm going to go for the Sycamore anyways. Yeah, I'm going to go for the Sycamore. I want to potentially get a better hand. I think my opponent might not use the Ace Trainer once again. A Switch, a Level Ball. And there's no point to using any of those cards, so we will go for the knockout with the Hopeless Scream. Hit for 240 damage. Wait, we didn't actually need a muscle band. What was I talking about? I forgot about the weakness. We didn't need that muscle band. I was counting at 120 time. Oh, it's 70. I had something. I was counting completely wrong there. Yeah, we definitely didn't need that muscle band. My counting was off. Even if my opponent evolves into the break, we don't need a muscle band. I was confused. I was thinking about 50 plus 20 from the muscle band, but we have those 2 damage counters. 50 plus 20 times 2, that's 140. But the 2 damage counters times 2, that's 200. So let's see. This we can actually knock out this Greninja with our Dugtrio, but then our Shedinja would go down. So we have to go with the Shedinja. Get a knockout that way. Might as well bench another Diglett. We will hit for the Hopeless Scream. I will actually use Korrina this turn. Korrina just so I can get a item card in hand. Oh, and there's another Dugtrio. So I had more Dugtrios in deck than I was aware of. Oh, and we only have 1 item card left, the Trainers Mail. What other cards are left in our deck then? I wonder, we still have 8 cards left. Are some energies and supporters then? It must be that. Let's go for the Hopeless Scream. Can my opponent evolve into a Greninja? Does he have a rare candy to evolve that Froakie? That Froakie is his last resort. If he cannot, then we will take the game right here. A Level Ball for another Froakie. So he's hanging on in there, and a Super Rod. Shuffling back 1 Frogadier and 2 Frogadier and a Greninja. So it is definitely not over yet. He needs to find that Frogadier right now though, so he can use another water duplicates. VS Seeker for the Ace Trainer. There it is once again. We know we have some resources in our deck, so we are okay with that. As long as we draw into something useful, as long as my opponent doesn't draw into a Frogadier. The Stadium and an energy, we can discard that energy. There is the Frogadier. And another water duplicate, so my opponent just keeps going with the water duplicates for that 1 Frogadier right there. He could evolve that into a Greninja. 3 energy in the discard pile. I need to be careful here. I need some energy in play at some point for my Dugtrio. I'm going to discard it right now. And there is another energy. We'll attach that to the Dugtrio. We have a Sycamore. Going to keep the Sycamore in hands, otherwise I bring myself down way too low. And we will hit for the knockouts on the Frogadier. We are running low on resources, so we might actually lose this game because we are losing steam. If my opponent cannot knock out our Shedinja, then we have the game. If he cannot knock it out, then it will be difficult for us because we don't have a backup Shedinja ready to go. As a water energy, does he have the Greninja? Another Ace Trainer, my goodness. He is really loving the Ace Trainers. We have to pray that he misses out on the Greninja there. If he does, that is going to be it. And he missed out on the Greninja. We took a win against Greninja Break. Oh my goodness, another one. I cannot believe it. Oh wow. That is incredible. That is really incredible. I've got no words. We did 900 damage. My goodness, our Garbodor came in clutch there. Our Garbodor saved our ass. Without our Garbodor, we would have never been able to pull that off. And the fact that he failed to get out that Greninja gave us the win. Oh, that feels so good. That feels so good. We, our Daft Dugtrio 2.0 deck, won against Greninja. I'm gonna frame this. I'm gonna screenshot this match results and hang it on my wall. That is amazing. Should I go for one more final match? I don't think so. I'm running out of time for today. I already had to scrap some footage from the recording because I was running into some evolution decks which did not evolve, and that's a waste of time. You don't want to see me fight those decks. So we are going to leave it here. Twice Greninja today, so hopefully in next videos we face some other decks besides Greninja. Leave a like if you enjoyed the Daft Dugtrio 2.0 deck, and subscribe to my channel for more daftness, for more daft decks, for more competitive decks, and for more fun decks. I hope you have a Karp-tastic day, and I will be seeing you on Monday with a Meta Monday episode.
Karp, 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 Karp.